Imagine reaching the absolute peak. Wealth, fame, trophies, fans chanting your name, only to watch it all disappear. From multi-million-dollar fortunes gone in a flash, to prison cells, addiction, and complete career collapses, these footballers had it all and lost everything. Some fell from grace, others hit rock bottom, and the final name on this list? His downfall is almost unbelievable. Let's kick it off. In the early 2000s, Ronaldinho wasn't just a footballer, he was magic. A Ballon d'Or winner, a Champions League king, and the life of every highlight reel. But while he was dazzling defenders on the pitch, his off-field lifestyle was spiraling out of control. He blew through millions on luxury estates, exotic cars, wild parties, and insane gifts. The money vanished faster than his no-look passes, and when the football stopped, reality hit hard. By 2018, Ronaldinho's bank account reportedly had less than $10. That's not a typo. $10. Then came the lowest point, 2020. He was arrested in Paraguay for using a fake passport and thrown behind bars. Seeing the man who once lit up the Camp Nou locked in a jail cell? Unreal. From golden boots to prison blues, Ronaldinho's fall is a brutal reminder that no matter how bright you shine, the lights can go out fast. And speaking of legends who lost it all, if Ronaldinho was magic, Maradona was myth, a World Cup god, a Napoli icon, and a footballing genius worshipped across continents. But off the pitch, pure chaos. Maradona lived large, mansions, jewelry, private jets, and a lifestyle that made headlines as often as his goals. But with all that flash came serious fallout. While playing for Napoli, he racked up a massive unpaid tax bill, so big that by the 2000s, Italian authorities were coming for everything. His Rolexes, gone. Real estate, seized. Even his diamond earrings were auctioned off. The debt, over $50 million, and Maradona avoided stepping foot in Italy for years just to dodge the drama. Even after his passing, his estate is still tied up in court battles. He had the world at his feet, but left behind a financial mess no one can clean up. From a king in Naples to a name in legal limbo. Let's move to another Brazilian talent whose story is more tragedy than scandal. At one point, Adriano was Brazil's next unstoppable force. Dominating at Inter Milan, he had power, precision, and a left foot that terrified goalkeepers. The world thought he'd be the next Ronaldo. But everything changed the day his father died. That loss shattered him. Adriano spiraled, missing training, skipping matches, and drowning his pain in alcohol. Inter tried to help, but the spark was gone. His body gave out. His hunger for the game vanished. He left Europe quietly and returned to the favelas of Brazil, far from the cameras and glory. Adriano didn't lose it all to scandal or spending. He lost it to grief, and sometimes that's the hardest kind of fall. But while Adriano faded from the spotlight, the next player on our list torched his own legacy with late-night parties and bad decisions. In 2010, Wesley Sneijder had the football world in a chokehold. Champions League winner with Inter, World Cup finalist with the Netherlands, Ballon d'Or contender, he had it all. But instead of building a legacy, Sneijder hit the gas on self-destruction. Fast cars, wild nights, and bottles popped like trophies. He once admitted he was more loyal to the nightlife than the training ground. The result? A career that burned out fast. The talent was world-class, but the discipline? Non-existent. He's openly said he could have been on the same level as Messi and Ronaldo, but partied it all away. Today, Sneijder looks back with regret, knowing his biggest opponent wasn't a defender, it was himself. And speaking of wasted potential, this next player had the world at his feet and still walked away early. At Chelsea, Eden Hazard was a cheat code. Electric dribbles, impossible goals, and defenders left in the dust. At his peak, some said he was second only to Messi. So when Real Madrid dropped over $100 million to sign him in 2019, the world expected fireworks. But instead of becoming Ronaldo's heir, Hazard became one of football's biggest flops. Injuries piled up, motivation dipped. He showed up to preseason overweight twice, and while the fans waited for magic, all they got was silence. By 2023, at just 32 years old, he quietly retired. No farewell tour, no redemption arc, just gone. He turned down offers to keep playing. Why? Only he knows. From global superstar to early retirement, Hazard's fall wasn't about scandal. It was about what never was. But while Hazard chose to step away, the next player might have that choice taken from him entirely. When Manchester United paid $100 million to bring back Paul Pogba in 2016, it felt like a new era. The prodigal son had returned, and he was expected to dominate. But instead of running the midfield, Pogba's second spell at Old Trafford was a roller coaster. Flashes of brilliance drowned in injuries, drama, and inconsistency. Fans got frustrated, critics got louder, and just when it seemed like a move to Juventus might spark a comeback, everything crashed. In 2023, Pogba tested positive for a banned substance. He now faces a possible 4-year ban. At 30, that's not a suspension, it's a potential career killer. From World Cup winner to sidelined and spiraling, Pogba's story went from promise to panic in record time. Whether it was bad luck or bad choices, the fall was brutal. But while Pogba may still have hope, the next player on our list is battling demons far darker than injuries or headlines. Paul Gascoigne, Gazza, wasn't just a footballer, he was a cultural icon. His magic at Euro '96 made him a national hero. But behind the smiles and goals was a man falling apart. Fame, pressure, and personal trauma pushed Gazza toward alcohol, and once he started, he couldn't stop. Rehab stints, arrests, health scares, he spiraled for years. Millions vanished on legal fees, failed business ventures, and destructive habits. At one point, he was homeless, living in hotels, relying on friends just to get by. His physical and mental health hit rock bottom. Doctors weren't sure he'd survive. He had the talent to be remembered like Zidane. Instead, he's remembered for a battle with addiction that never truly ended. Gazza's story isn't just about a fall from grace, it's a haunting example of how fame can amplify the pain you're trying to escape. But while Gazza lost himself to addiction, the next player lost everything to reckless spending, on a whole different level. Eric Djemba Djemba was supposed to be Manchester United's next midfield star, the heir to Roy Keane. But instead of dominating the pitch, he became a cautionary tale in financial failure. Earning £75,000 a week, Djemba Djemba spent like the money would never stop. Luxury cars, designer gear, lavish gifts. He even opened over 30 bank accounts just to keep track of it all. But when the game moved on, the money didn't follow. He bounced from club to club, Qatar, India, even the Swiss second division, desperately trying to stay afloat. But by 2016, it was game over. He was officially declared bankrupt. A career full of promise reduced to dust, all because he couldn't stop spending it. And if you think that's wild, wait until you hear about a former England keeper who had to sell trophies and shirts just to stay afloat. David James was England's #1, literally, a Premier League legend with over 50 national caps and a career that spanned Liverpool, Aston Villa, and Manchester City. He made more than £20 million during his time between the sticks, and still lost it all. It started with a brutal divorce in 2005 that drained a huge chunk of his fortune. But it didn't stop there. Bad investments, failed business ventures, and poor money management turned a fortune into a financial nightmare. By 2014, he was officially declared bankrupt. To cover debts, James had to auction off personal treasures, signed jerseys, memorabilia, even his beloved Porsche collection. From leading England on the world stage to selling off his past just to stay afloat, it was a shocking fall. But if you thought that was tough, the final story on our list is even darker and nearly cost one player his life. Lee Hendrie had it made. Premier League baller, England international, and one of Aston Villa's brightest young stars. He earned millions at the height of his career. But behind the fame was a financial disaster waiting to explode. Hendrie splurged on real estate, big properties, big loans, but mismanaged it all. As his career declined, the income slowed, but the spending didn't. Debts piled up, bills went unpaid. In 2012, it all came crashing down. He was officially declared bankrupt. But the story doesn't end there. Overwhelmed by the collapse of his finances and identity, Hendrie attempted to take his own life twice. He survived, but the scars run deep. His story isn't just about money, it's about mental health, pressure, and what happens when football's spotlight fades. From fame to the edge of tragedy, Lee Hendrie's fall was one of the hardest to watch. And now that you've seen all 10, here's the truth behind the fame. Fame, fortune, glory. These players had it all and still lost everything. Some fell to addiction, others to bad investments, and a few were simply broken by the pressure that comes with greatness. It's a harsh truth most fans never see. The game doesn't always end at the final whistle. Sometimes that's when the real battle begins. Which story hit you the hardest? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more untold stories from the lives of filthy rich footballers, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time, keep it filthy rich!